Welcome to another episode of The Brand Called You, a video and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Today, it is my privilege to welcome a very accomplished entrepreneur from India, Mr. Vikash Gupta. Vikash, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
Vikash is the founder of the brand 360, which is a collection of leather products in the areas of home decor, accent furniture, lifestyle accessories, and much more. Vikash, tell me a little bit about what would you consider as three key milestones in your life or your career?
Great. So my three milestone would be in my career would be when I got an opportunity to go to US as a student and with no financials. So it was a journey where I had to deliver newspaper, work and do odd jobs and pay for my college. So it was a great milestone, lot of learning, beautiful learning. Second milestone would have been when I decided, in spite of having a great job, being accepted at Mobil Oil Corporation, I decided to come back to India to create to be a part of an entrepreneur journey. So that's my second. And third was when, after running my successful export house, I decided to take on building a most successful lifestyle brand, Indian brand in the country. And not only country, even taking it overseas, 360. So these has been my three
Wonderful
milestones.
In fact, I can see the chair you're sitting on, and I'm sure it's your own product. It's a beautiful,
absolutely, thank you.
Beautiful looking chair.
It's a very hot selling item.
I can imagine. So, Vikash, tell me a little bit about 360, about this venture. What made you start, and why leather?
So 360. When I was trying to think about the idea was to create a brand. I mean, that is something I thought it's something I wanted to leave or build as a legacy. So I was looking at it, and my thought was always about lifestyle. I'm a very people's guy. I love chatting with people. Doesn't matter which space of life, doing what. I just enjoy my conversations. I always thought about, bringing something to do with lifestyle. And lifestyle is not about luxury. It's all about well-being. So many things. And I'm a firm believer of work and life balance. I've always believed that's how I've lived my life. So the idea was design. Since I was exposed to leather and I've been doing export of leather home goods for a long time, the idea was that was the material I was very comfortable with because that's where I could focus. So I thought, why not bring design, the craftsmanship of our country, and build a brand which becomes a global brand. So why not? I mean, because the craftsmanship there, the leather, the raw materials are there, and India has so much of diversity, culture. So the idea was to build something brand India and start with 360. That's how 360 lifestyle came into existence.
Okay. And what made you select leather? I mean, why not, so many other types of fabric?
So leather is a natural material. And if and since I had been working with leather in exports, and believe me, I learned a lot. As I said, one of my odd jobs when I was in US a student was working for an Indian guy who had a leather store. So I learned a lot at that age about leather. It is such a great material to work with. It's so much of skill is required to work on a leather because it's a hide and it's a material. It's natural. It's a material that breathes. So it's so much you can do. So and I wanted to be very focused. I didn't want to be somebody who works with every material because you need to have your niche. You need to have your expertise, something that you are good at, something your factory is good at. And believe me, you cannot do everything. So the idea was just be very focused and stick to leather. That's how the leather came.
Okay. And, since you are an expert on leather, for a lot of our viewers and listeners who will be listening to what you and I be talking,
right?
What is a good leather?
That's a very subjective, sir. I mean, there is nothing called good or bad leather. It's a very personal choice. Leather comes. I mean, the leather is used, all kinds of leather used for different purposes. For apparels, you'll use a different kind of leather. For upholstery, you'll use. So leather is, there is no good or bad. Even the best thing about leather, even the scrap of leather is well used. So yes, there could be a spoiled leather if it's not tanned well. That's something the process has not been followed. Yes, there it could be, but there's nothing bad or good.
Okay. And, when I talk to people who are in the leather business, they say that because of the challenges of animals, etc., there is a lot of resistance to leather in a lot of countries. What are your thoughts?
So we don't make products by killing animals. You kill animals because of food, and leather is a byproduct. I mean, what would you do with those hides if you don't make product? And this is not happening now. It has happening for ages. But it's for people to protect themselves from winters, from heat. So leather has been there. So it's we must understand it's a leather is it's a something which is sustainable, something which is good, something which can be carried for years. So I don't see a problem. I think it's here to stay. It's not synthetic. It's not. It doesn't. So I am a firm believer that leather is always here to stay. It's luxury. It's nice. It's good. So as long as people are going to keep eating meat, the leather is here. And we are not killing anybody for leather.
Fair enough. And what are some of the environmental challenges associated with leather?
So there are challenges, absolutely. I mean, if you ask me fundamentally, I think three, I see challenges. One is your groundwater, that's something we must be concerned. Your air pollution, because of solvent being used and chemicals being used in the process, and your waste. So, but again, having said that, the technology has evolved so much. It has evolved that now all that is being sorted, is that being taken care of. There are tanneries who are following those norms. So there are ways where you are taking care of these issues, which should be a concern, and it is a concern. So I would say a lot of tanneries, and that's where the world is shifting. We are using water-based adhesive, we are using a lot of water-based salt, stuff. So things are changing. Yeah.
Okay. So now let's come back to 360.
Right.
When I was reading about you,
Right.
you were, there is your own mantra of the 4 P's to success, which you said are passion, patience, prayers, and performance. Talk to me about the 4 P's.
So, as I said, I'm a first generation entrepreneur. When I went to US, it was learning for me. Came back to India with a lot of zeal at the young age of 24, and with only 2 lakh rupees in my pocket, and a wife, my girlfriend, who I got married to, and not knowing a single family in Delhi. That's how we landed up. So, one thing was the only thing that I think as an entrepreneur I had at that point was my passion to do something back home. Even if I could create a job, one job for somebody, I would be happy. So that passion I think is so important, because no matter what comes, if you don't have the passion, the drive doesn't come. So I think I'm a firm believer of that. And with that, also you need a lot of patience. I'm a maybe you can say I'm an old generation guy. I believe that, building an entrepreneurship or building a brand or building something takes a generation. So if you don't have that patience, and it's like they say, patience is the virtue. So I'm a firm believer. You have to have that. You have to believe that it's going to take time. It's not going to be a shortcut. So that's what I believe in. And I think nothing happens without a prayer. And so I tell every entrepreneur that, you need a lot of prayers, because when you are excited about doing something, creating, it's your baby, you want to create, it's your joy, your thing. But what about people around you? It is not something they are excited about, maybe. But they also suffer. In my entrepreneurship, probably, I was excited. It didn't matter to me what I was going through, because I thought I'm a great entrepreneur. I'll bounce back. But what about my family? What about people around me? So you need prayers so that they are all with you, support you. Correct. And then, of course, my last P, which performance. Nothing happens if you don't perform. You got to make sure you are able to execute. So those are my 4 P's.
And I'm sure you are aware of the old 5 P's of marketing from Philip Kotler: product, price, promotion, packaging, and whatever.
Yes.
Coming to the product,
right?
You are almost in the fashion industry, with trends changing constantly. Tell me, how do you keep ahead of the fashion trend? Because I'm sure leather changes every season.
Yeah, so like fashion, of course, leather changes in terms of the colors, because you can do so much with leather. It's like fabric. You can look at the colors. I mean, red. You can do thousands of variations in leather, and for that you have a very valid question. The only way to do is keep investing in designers. So we as a company, and this is what I've been doing for 20 years, 25 years. I've always always, and I believe that it is something designers, we should always have designers on board. I've always gone to NIFT and I mean, very popular within that institute. I always have hired designers on board. I mean, they are the ones. I mean, they are the ones who follow the trend. They are the ones who bring the newness to your business. I mean, so that's what you got to do to stay ahead. And it is changing. You're right. I mean, our business is like as good as fashion. Every 3 months, we got to have something new.
Correct. Because, in your leather collections, you have home decor, furniture, and lifestyle accessories.
Right.
So, we've been speaking about furniture, but tell me a little bit more about home decor and lifestyle accessories.
So home decor is towards accent pieces, like a boxes. Either you use it as a storage or use it as a decoration piece. Mm-hmm. It could be your trays, your tissue boxes made in a leather. So again, these are craftsmanship. This is all hand done. This is not like machine, you put it and it comes out. No, yes, we do have machines to take care of certain things in leather. Mm-hmm. But if you actually come to my factory, it is about that craftsmanship. It is about that skill, how the guy is, it's what you see with the cobbler. I know it's so that's the beauty. And then other accessories, like I would say, golf, covers and stuff like that. Again, that's a lifestyle thing, and travel is a huge category with us. Mm-hmm. And there, I mean, duffel bag, passport holders, small accessories, mm-hmm. and, the point, small things that you would want in leather. Look at the aprons nowadays that is coming in leather. It's such a in thing right now. So there's so much you can do with leather. Mm-hmm. And there is a lot more which I would, as a brand, would like to grow into.
Mm-hmm. And what about your lifestyle accessories?
So lifestyle accessories, if you look at it, I mean, again, it's there. I mean, when I look at my paneling, if I'm looking at it, a lot of homes nowadays, they want, so my expertise is, it's about den. I love to create that space for a man where he would want his lifestyle bar maybe, or small entertainment, or maybe a poker box or a poker table. That's lifestyle. That's what it is to me. That what I'm trying to create.
Okay. So now let's talk a little more about 360. And my next question is that what are some of your core values in your business?
So my values, again, one thing which I very strongly believe, and it has never changed, I think in my 30 years of entrepreneurship is customer is the king, customer is the God. That's my core value. I start everything with that. My entire organization, I say, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Right, wrong, no debate. Customer is the king. If we follow that, everything else will fall in place. And that's how we run our organization. We are very transparent. There's a only crime in my organization is nobody can lie. Whatever it is, we have messed up. Let's own up to it. It's okay. It's all right. And those are my way I work. It's a very open environment. Everybody can walk into me. I can go, so that's, that's the kind of, and thanks to US, I learned that at a young age and I've been practicing that.
Very interesting. And what would you say is your leadership style?
Again, sir, giving a lot of very hands-on, I would say, I like to get my hands dirty. I don't mind even today if I have to clean my factory, do something, I would love to do it. No problems. Lifting box, no problems. Very open, easy access, enjoy working as a team spirit, open discussions, getting ideas, meeting people and learning all the time.
Okay. Yeah. So 2 more questions for you on 360, and then I'll move to a few questions for you personally.
Okay.
If you look at the leather industry as a whole across the world, which are some of the major leather producing countries?
So leather, if you look at leather as a material, I think the biggest stock that you get is out of Brazil, because they produce the maximum meat too. Then I would say also Argentina, US, of course, for sure, China also, and India, of course. India has the second largest livestock, and Italy. So those, and Mexico also. Yeah. So these are the 5 or 6 main countries who have enough leather being produced, even in terms of products as well.
Okay. Yeah. And once the leather has been taken off the dead animal,
right?
Is the processing of the leather also done in the same countries, or are there countries that are specializing in processing?
No, sir. Most of them all done in the same countries. Same countries. I mean, they all. I mean, Argentina has some beautiful leather processing tanneries. So is Argentina. So is Brazil. So is US. They all have excellent facilities, and so is India.
Okay.
India has beautiful tanneries. Yeah.
Okay. And when you get all that leather from wherever,
Gee.
I'm assuming that for you, for 360, you are getting it in ready to use kind of thing. You don't go through any further processing.
Yeah, we get leather as a raw material. We get it from the tannery. Sometimes we finish it, maybe give it some wax look or distress look or something, play with it. But yes, we don't do a tanning. We have beautiful tanneries that we work with. We've been working for years, compliant tanneries. We ensure all that is in place. We don't work with any tanneries. It has to be compliant and stuff like that. So yeah.
And you mentioned right in the beginning that now you're beginning to sell a lot of products outside India as well.
Yes.
So which are some of your major markets that you'd go to?
So my main market is US and Europe, and we are also doing quite a bit in Dubai. And you'll be shocked to hear we also sell to China. We have customers in China.
Amazing.
So that is something I keep telling people. It's not that we have opportunity to do business with China and sell to China as well. And I have 3-4 customers in China now.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And one more question for you on related to work. You mentioned that you're very conscious of your work-life balance, right? And I know you were a great golfer and you get time for yourself. But how do you manage to balance family and work despite such a busy schedule?
So it's not easy, sir. There's no question. But as I said earlier, as I mentioned to you, that I've always believed that this journey is long, and so that one fine day will never come in this journey as an entrepreneur. I believed it, and thank God that I believed it at a very early stage. So I said I might as well and God was very kind that I always, managed to do that. So I ensured, my time is my time, my family time is my family time. So from day one, I was not waiting for that fine day. I knew this is it's still not over. The journey is still on, sir. So I'm continuing and making sure whatever I can do, spend time with my family, my wife, my mom and dad, my business, my community out there. Also, I give a lot of time to the community. Also, I'm very active in a lot of industrial associations and leather groups, and as well as my condominium. And I've always done it. I've done it for years, and I just enjoy it.
Okay. So now let's, Vikas, move to a few questions for you personally. My first question to you is that, specialized in leather, built an amazing brand, getting recognition, industry bodies, etc., etc. What does success mean to Vikas? So
success, that's a question. Sometimes I question myself too, and so I've always, one thing was very clear for me. Most important thing as an entrepreneur, as a person, as a human, always have been health. Health is wealth.
Okay.
So I've always ensured, no matter what I do in life, my health has, should always be my top priority for me and my family, always. And success, other than that, sir, is always, when I look back, and especially these COVID times, I think I would always say is about how I was able to hold on to my team in the challenging times. How I was able to, and maybe that is the reason why I still have people who've been working with me for 20 years, 25 years still with me. And that is, to me, when I look at that feels very good. It feels nice. And that, to me, that makes me feel very comfortable, nice, that I must have done something right, that they are with me for so many years, and not one, two, many.
Terrific. And therefore, a follow-up question is that you just keep doing this over and over again, and you keep motivating yourself to do so many new things. What inspires you?
Sir, again, I'm a people's guy. People inspire me every time. It's always, I love chatting with people. I've been always, I have that skill. You can say that I connect very fast with anybody who's human, even ordinary people. When I look at workers from my factory, coming from village, staying in a room with 10 people, saving money to send it to his parents, and they inspire me. So, it's all about people from all aspects of life. Then you inspire me, sir. That's how I get my inspiration.
Thank you. My next question is, on failure, Vikas. And, I've often said that I have a new book coming out on failure. Basically, my hypothesis has been that Indian parents or parents in South Asia don't teach their children it's okay to fail, which is why it manifests itself in our behavior patterns. Yet we keep failing all the time. So my question to you is, what has been your learning from some of your mistakes?
So you have hit my most important topics here today. Failure to me, I think, and I'm very strong and I'm very vocal about it. We should celebrate our failures. Not just talk, we should celebrate it, because I think when I look back at my journey, I think, and I've had many failures, believe me, many failures, but the lessons I have learned is just phenomenal. And just to keep it short and straight in one word, I've just evolved as a better human with every time I've failed. Much better human. So when I look back, and this is what has happened.
Okay.
And many failures, sir. I mean, there's no one, many where I've lost everything. But, just bouncing back, bringing it has just kept me grounded, humble, made me a better human. And that's so important.
Fantastic. So now I have time for two more questions for you.
Okay.
My next question comes back to the pandemic. We are all been affected across the whole world. My question to you, Vikash, is how are you rethinking your life and your business in the new world order?
So, yeah, I think there is new normal. I am not a very techie guy, sir. I'll be very honest with you. As much as I wanted to build my online business, I always thought this is premium. It's a lifestyle. It has to be, and I do events where I bring people to my, showrooms and talk about it. People talk about their experiences. But, I think online is here to stay. I have to evolve. I have to change with time. And that's where I am setting in, trying to accept that as a reality, change it. And I think also, I think wellness, as I said, it's all about work-life balance. I want to bring more that towards the Indian consumer, that, how important it is, which I thought India was missing for some reason. People got too excited about what they were doing, and that was missing. I always thought. So hopefully post this whole thing, I think hopefully as a brand, I'll be able to position ourselves in that space where it makes more meaning to people, more meaningful. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. And my last question to you, and I go back now again to your entrepreneurship and all the things that you're doing. What would your advice be to a young entrepreneur starting off on their journey and looking at the next 25 years?
Well, so I think, when I see the young entrepreneurs, I think they have everything going for them.
Correct.
They have the passion, they have the skill, very talented. My only advice to them is where sometimes I feel, they're in a rush. They want to achieve everything too fast. And that's where I feel, no, don't do that. It's going to take its time. The kid is going to be born in 9 months. You don't want a premature baby. It takes time.
Correct.
So, enjoy that phase. You're going to fall. Don't worry. Nobody can guarantee you success. But I can guarantee you one thing. Every time you fall and you pick yourself up and you go to that next milestone, you'll become a better human. And that's so important in life.
Wonderful.
So that is my only advice to young entrepreneurs. Just hang in there.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Vikas, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure speaking to you. I wish you 360 and everything else that you do lots of success.
Thank you, sir. It was absolute delight talking to you too. You have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the Brand Called You videocast and podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the Brand Called You.